Hey, what's up, phone lovers? Welcome to the Mobile Roar podcast for the week of May 5th, 2016. I'm Joe Fidua.
I'm Chris Chavez.
And I'm Ashley King.
Welcome to May, everybody. Cinco de Mayo.
It's gonna be May.
Star Wars Day was yesterday.
Cinco de
Exciting.
Mayo.
Are you going to celebrate by drinking some tequila, Chris?
I mean, I've been kind of drinking beer all week. Not like a lot, just like one after I get off work. I just like crack open a beer, and my girlfriend thinks I'm a raging alcoholic now. So I don't think I can even drink tonight, which kind of sucks. But
The question is, how many do you drink every
I
night?
only
Is it just the one?
two Bud Lights. That's it. Two Bud Lights, and I'm all tipsy.
So like a tall glass of
wasted.
water, pretty much.
Exactly. There's like no alcohol in them. It's just.
All right. So that's Chris. You have your HTC 10 on the way, right?
Yeah, I'm kind of like I want to keep one of my headphones open, like so I can hear the door, because it requires a signature. But yeah, it's coming, and I'm really freaking out that I'm gonna miss it. Really freaking out.
Well, I'm really excited to hear your thoughts on it once you get it.
I'm excited to hear his thoughts too.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm
Hopefully
trying to keep my expectations down. I don't want to get too hyped, because then I'm gonna like find stupid stuff.
I know
to
he's
nitpick.
gonna get hyped because I've got Joe's tempered review. He's like, "Yeah, this is a great phone," and I'm waiting for Chris's. Oh my God, this phone is the best! It's the best
Yeah.
phone I've ever had.
Like, Chris always is going to be like that at first, but the question will be, how is he feeling a week or 2 weeks from now? So
Yeah, that's true. That's true. You make a good point.
hopefully I'm not hyping it up too much. I'm about to publish my review, like probably, it's pretty much done, so probably like after we're done recording this. And I gave it a score 4.8, which is the score that we gave the Galaxy S7 Edge. So slightly higher than the S7, slightly higher than the G5. So that's pretty much like I'm saying it's the best phone out there, pretty much.
Good job, HTC.
Yeah. I mean, I've had it for a month now, and I think that's actually makes for a good review, because I didn't just get the phone, use it for a week, and write a review. Like, I've actually been using this phone for a month now, and I still am thinking this highly of it. So that's a good thing for the HTC 10.
Yeah.
But I'll run over what I put as my pros and cons. I didn't have many cons. That was kind of hard to actually think of cons. So for the good, I put premium design and build quality, excellent software, great fingerprint sensor, and good battery life. And for the bad, I put the camera could be better. It's not bad by any means, but it's not as good as the Galaxy S7 or the G5. And then I said that it's a little on the expensive side. Because
Sure.
I mean, it costs about the same as a flagship phone does these days, but I just feel like HTC needs to do a little bit more to make people buy their phones, and so I would have liked to see it a little cheaper.
There's a fine balance.
Yeah. Like, I mean, Samsung can come out with a $700 phone, and like, people are going to buy it, but I don't think HTC can really get away with that as much. So hopefully that doesn't hurt the sales too bad.
Yeah. On the unlocked model, I think it probably will. I don't imagine too many people are going to buy it just completely unlocked, but like once it comes to T-Mobile and people can put it on payments, and I think it's already out on Verizon, yeah, I think it'll do pretty well.
Yeah. So I really like it. Favorite phone I've used in a while, as I said last week. So I won't talk too much about it. Just stay tuned to Fandroid for my full review. But yeah, so we mentioned real quick that Chris's is shipping, and I guess most are shipping by the end of this week. Is that right?
Yeah. Last week, HTC said that it was going to be the end of this week that we would see. They would start shipping, which kind of made me a little nervous, because I was like, the end of this week, and then you probably wouldn't get it until next Monday or Tuesday or something. But yeah, they started, most of them. I think Verizon started shipping out on Tuesday. Then the unlocked model started shipping out yesterday and Wednesday. So most people should have them if they pre-ordered early.
Yeah. I see someone just tweeted at our Fandroid account a picture of the box. They just received it, so like it's definitely starting to show up. So that's cool.
Super nervous.
All right. So let's move on from the HTC 10. We've talked about that to death the last few weeks.
Can we talk about how my iTunes keeps opening? It's still doing it.
Yeah, what is going on with your iTunes, man?
I don't. Maybe somebody will tell me how to fix it, but it won't stop. It just keeps opening and playing music on its own, and it's been doing that for the past couple of days now. And it's just, I basically have to mute the speakers on my computer because it just does what it wants to do. It's so frustrating.
If you guys don't know, you're listening to this. Chris seems to have problems with his Macs
I don't know what it
more
is.
than anyone.
I know it
Oh my
sounds
gosh.
like I do, and I actually enjoy the Mac because I thought it's supposed to be a lot
Just
less
work?
buggy, and it just works. But I don't know what's going on. Maybe it's all the stuff. I think it's all my Chrome tabs. Honestly, I have so many Chrome tabs that it's just breaking everything probably. But yeah, I don't know. That's a little off topic.
Ashley, you have the Mac. What
I
is
do.
it? That small one. What is it called
Yeah.
even? MacBook?
It's just called a MacBook. I think it's a 12-inch MacBook.
Yeah, and you don't have any issues with it,
I have
do
had
you?
no problems with it. And
What's
I
your
do,
iTunes doing?
nothing. I don't use it. Do you use yours?
No, I mean I made the mistake of trying out what was it, Apple Music or whatever the other day. So I finally opened up iTunes for the first time in 6 years, and yeah, now it loves me. It just wants to keep opening.
It's like, hey, you remember the song you were listening to? Let's play it.
Hey, got a nice song for you.
I mean, maybe that's just a feature to remind you of the music you have. Just a
I
fun
don't get
feature.
it. You know what? Maybe what I'll probably just do is leave it open and then pause the music. That's a good solution.
You should.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
All
no,
right.
it just starts playing.
Did it really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's hilarious.
It's forcing me to listen to music.
You will listen to this music.
You
It's like when
will.
they gave everyone that U2 album.
Yeah, you will listen to you too. Oh man.
All right, so moving on to actual mobile news. How do you say this guy's name? Rick Osterloh?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you recognize that name, he used to be in charge of Motorola's mobile division, I believe, and he was kind of like the driving force behind the resurgence with the Moto X and all those phones, Moto G. But he left Motorola, and now apparently he is leading up Google's hardware division, which I think is
super
pretty
exciting. Yeah, this is really big, really good for Google because I guess apparently he's going to be taking over some of the stuff like Google Glass. He's going to be the new guy in charge of Google Glass. Before it was Tony Fadell, the guy that was the Nest CEO. But now they're kind of separating Nest. Nest is its own alphabet company, not really under Google, but now under the Google umbrella, you have Rick Osterloh from Motorola, which is awesome. So many cool things he's going to be working on, and I have really high hopes.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird situation actually, with the Nest thing. There was a few weeks ago, or maybe even more than a month ago, I remember there was a story about Nest, how they're not doing very well at all.
Yeah, the product is awesome. So much about it was just really, really cool, but it just seems that I don't know, it's a weird thing for people to kind of adopt. I don't think many people think they know why they need a digital cloud-connected thermostat for their home. Or maybe people think it's too hard to set up. I don't know, but for whatever reason,
I think
people
price is a pretty big barrier.
Yeah,
for people
it's a little
to-
on the what is it, $200 or something, a little on the pricey side, which is kind of sucky. But I mean, the savings, you get so many savings,
Right.
and I've heard, you can hear all the testimonials from people that they save a lot on their electric bills and all that. So
I mean, that's a hard thing for a lot of
Yeah.
people to accept. I mean, you see it all the time with payment plans where people
exactly.
prefer to do a payment plan and pay more in the long run than just pay it all up front. It's kind of the same situation.
It's exactly the same. But yeah, so I guess Nest isn't really doing so well, and Google usually, they drop products and things really quickly, and they're kind of giving Nest one more shot according to reports. So we'll see what happens there.
Yeah, it's pretty sad because I don't know. I feel like Nest had so much potential, and everyone was so excited when they joined
Yeah,
Google.
they had like ex guys that worked on like the original iPod and all these ex Apple employees and all this stuff, and they seemed like they had a lot of talent to create something awesome. But I don't know. I guess Nest is just sort of stagnating. And then, what did they come up with? Like a smoke detector too that
Yeah,
talks
they have
to
a
you
smoke
and
detector, and
um,
then they have their own version of the drop cam.
yeah.
Those are like the
And
three best things: the camera, the thermostat, and the smoke detector.
yeah, I thought things were going really well. I mean, they had like their own little they have a little like end cap section at Target. I remember walking by and I saw like all the Nest products and stuff.
Yeah, I
So I
mean, every
thought,
time I walk by a Nest thermostat in a store, I'm like, I want to buy
yeah,
it.
I mean, I just always grab it and just start twisting it and look at the little dial move around because I think it's just so awesome. It's great.
Okay, so moving on. This is kind of a crazy story. So YouTube is apparently working on a live TV service, and apparently they've been working on it for a while, actually.
Yeah.
From what I understand from reading this, it will be similar to Sling TV.
Is Sling TV live streaming? I mean, I think I read
Yes.
from the Bloomberg thing is that this one is supposed to be more or less like on demand.
Oh, okay.
But it'll be. I mean, they said broadcast TV and cable, but I'm not sure. Like, I guess like the NBC apps and stuff and Hulu, where you can just pick out shows to watch whenever you wanted. Um, but yeah, they've been apparently YouTube and Google. They've been trying to get this through for like since 2012. But I mean, these TV companies and stuff, they don't like nobody coming in on their turf and yeah, doing this sort of stuff. And I guess the price point that Google's trying to go for is $35, and the cable companies and TV companies and stuff they want the price to be a lot higher because they want to like tax
Of
them
course they
basically.
do.
Yeah,
Like, they were super afraid of Google Fiber. I know they're going to be afraid of this.
exactly.
Well, it's
So
crazy because, I mean, from what I was reading, it seems like this pretty much already exists just from other places.
yeah,
Like you mentioned, Hulu and Sling TV and
yep,
all these other different places are sort of doing the same thing. Like even PlayStation has PlayStation View or View or however you say
yeah, and
that.
those are all pretty expensive. How much is I can't remember how much View is, but it's kind
View
of
is
on
like
the pricey side.
$45 or 40
Yeah.
bucks. Sling TV is only $20. But that, like you said, is more for live TV. There is some on-demand stuff, but it's mostly for live TV.
Yeah, and that's what they were saying was just that Google's not happy and they can't really agree on the pricing. Google doesn't want to pay all this extra that they're trying to charge them for it, but I don't know. Maybe they're close in talks now. Seems like, but it's gonna be called something unplugged. I guess YouTube unplugged or just
Unplugged, yeah.
unplugged or whatever.
Which is kind of a weird name for
It
an
is weird.
online video service.
MTV unplugged. I mean, because you're gonna be plugged in, you gotta be plugged into the internet. And
Yep.
I guess you're streaming it, so it's not cable. It's not a cable connection, but I don't know how many people will really know what the difference is.
Mhm.
All right, Chris. So you're a proud owner of an Apple Watch now. We didn't
Oh.
talk about that a lot last week. You don't want us to. Chris loves his new Apple
I'm
Watch.
testing. No, I don't love it. I'm just.
He loves it so
trying
much he
out.
bought new bands for it.
Because the other ones were ugly. They were ugly.
So I'm gonna let you talk about this iMessage thing because you're an Apple fanboy.
Yeah, so this developer created something called Pi Messaging. Basically, it looks to bring iMessage to Android finally, which is something that people have been asking for forever now, and Apple just refuses to do, of course, because they're Apple.
Yeah, for obvious reasons.
But the way it works is a little bit different. There's actually been some solutions before where there's like a server and you use an application and it sends your messages to some server somewhere, which then beams them down to Apple stuff. But there's obviously security concerns with that. It's like, where are my messages going? If I send a bunch of nudes to my girlfriend, is there some dude up there in the cloud just like?
Oh yeah.
So yeah, so that was kind of like a weird way. The security concerns are why those ones never really took off so well. But this one is a little bit different. It's completely open source, and there's not really an application. You can't go to the Google Play Store and download it. It's actually open source, so developers can take the code and build it into their own apps and stuff, which is really awesome. But the way it works is you'll need a server on your Mac computer, and then you'll need whatever application on your Android device, and then you can send messages, and it just sends them to your computer, which then sends them through iMessage. So it's an interesting workaround. But if you have like a MacBook laptop or something, it'll have to be on in order for it to work. It'll have to be, you'll have to be logged in and all that stuff. It can't be sleeping. So you would need like a dedicated, some kind of OS X server or something in your house or computer that's always on in order for it to work. But it's kind of exciting. And I think just like the hype around it, or it got a lot of buzz actually. It was one of our top posts on Fandroid, and I think it's because there's so many people that want this to happen. They want iMessage already on Android, and for Apple and Tim Cook just to like snub their nose at everybody, it's kind of sucky. But,
yeah, I mean the question I have is Apple going to do something that will make this not work anymore?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I guess we'll find out in the next versions of OS X, but the way it kind of works now is that it's it doesn't seem like it's something there's anything really that Apple can do about it, because it just takes your message and then it, like, basically it's as if I was sending it from my computer. So it's kind of hard for Apple to block something like this. But currently there's no applications that use this yet. So you're gonna have to wait until someone actually compiles something. But it's pretty exciting. I think I would actually use this because I know a lot of my friends and stuff have Apple products, and I'm the green bubble apparently, which means I'm a lesser man than most. Instead of on iMessage, if you send a message, you can see if they're on iMessage or green bubble, blue bubble, whatever.
I have to say, a lot of the people that I text do use iPhones, but I never really had any issues.
Yeah.
With like receiving texts and stuff. At least not as much as some people complain about. I know group texting is one of the big things, but that's more of a problem for the iPhone user, isn't it? Because like it'll separate the conversations and stuff.
Yeah, I think it does. I'm not really sure. I've never really been involved in group texts ever, so not really too sure on that. But yeah, I don't know. Mainly it just sucks for them because they hate it because they can't see if you read their messages. They can't see. You can't send like video files and stuff like that. So yeah.
It's pretty dumb that we still don't have just a universal.
It's coming. It's coming. There's what was it? T-Mobile said they're going to be moving to like RCH, RHC.
Yeah, but Apple's never going to do that.
Yeah, but it's like that's going to be on the carrier end. So once we have like rich, I forget what they call it, rich communication, something like it's like the next step above SMS, where you can send video files. It does like so much more than SMS, and it's basically like instant messaging, but on the carrier side of things. But AT&T recently just agreed to it. I think it was like earlier this week. AT&T was said, yes, we're on board with that new technology protocol thing. So it's coming. It's coming, I think, and this will be the next best thing to having iMessage for everybody.
I'm just still skeptical that Apple will use it and do their own version.
I'm sure.
Of it.
Yeah, I'm sure. Probably they will just stick with iMessage or whatever because they're Apple.
All right. So remember foldable phones, guys?
I do.
The Kyocera Echo.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't really work so well, but apparently Samsung is going to try their own attempt at foldable phones, and it could be released next year. The big difference with this is, and there have been rumors about this and like patent applications and stuff since I think when I wrote up this article on, I think I found stuff like all the way back to 2014. So yeah, Samsung's been working on this for a while, but the display itself would fold, so there wouldn't be a gap. That was the big thing that was pretty stupid about the Kyocera Echo. You would fold it open and there was this thick black bar in between.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, you kind of have a bigger screen, but no, not really.
Black bar. Yeah, trying to watch a video like that with just a giant stripe in the middle.
What's happening in the middle of the video? I guess I won't know.
Yeah, can see it right down people's faces.
So the rumor is that it would fold from like a 5-inch device, like a phone size, and then you would fold it open, and it would be sort of like a 7-inch tablet. Yeah.
Wow.
That sounds cool.
Obviously, you can imagine this thing's going to be pretty thick.
Yeah, I'm so curious to see the design, to see like is it gonna have like a hinge that like is the screen gonna like have a crease in it when you open it, just like crease
That's the
like a
thing I
newspaper.
always think about. Yeah, is there going to be a crease in it?
And after a while, I mean, after you're opening and closing it repeatedly, is it gonna start cracking? Will like the display like the colors get weird in the middle? I mean, there's just so many I have so many questions. I can't wrap my head around it. It's
Yeah.
just crazy. But
Whatever
it's
it is,
exciting.
it's going to be the next big thing.
Yeah, because I mean, honestly, curved displays that wasn't
They're
really the next
stupid.
big thing. They were kind of pointless, a little stupid. Design-wise, I think it was the next step in design. I think it looks really nice. Not really too functional, but this would be like there is a clear like benefit to people. You have a tiny phone, you can open it into like a small tablet, which is pretty darn awesome.
It bums me out that Samsung is like the only one that seems to try these curved things and like actually stick with it, because I thought LG's curved, where it was like to be
Yeah,
curved to like fit your face. I thought that was such a better implementation of curved displays, but they just decided not to do it anymore.
yeah, that was really odd how they just completely abandoned that whole idea. I mean, I'm sure sales probably were like whatever, but you would think they would just incorporate it into their next flagship. But I guess, I mean,
Like
is
them
that
abandoned friends this year?
Yeah, seriously.
Oh gosh. But I mean,
But
I
you
guess
couldn't
it's
slide a
just
battery in with a curved display, Ashley.
it's like really expensive. Like that new display tech is like really expensive, and it's all about for LG, their mobile division isn't really doing so hot right now. So I mean, I guess they got to cut corners where they can. Unfortunately, that's with the curved display stuff. But yeah,
Or they're just really delusional and they're like, it's because of the curved display. No one liked it.
no, that's why. That's why the phone was terrible.
And then next year they'll be like, oh, it's because of that modular design.
It
No
was
one
the
liked
modular
it.
design the whole time. That was holding us back.
Yep. So speaking of weird phones, Nextbit Robin is
Man.
going to be $299 for a week on Amazon, which is a pretty good deal for a very interesting device.
I'm very curious. Like I'm so my girlfriend ain't here, but I was so close on pulling the trigger on one of these. I'm just so curious. I love the design. Like the phone looks like the craziest looking phone
It
ever.
does look really cool.
It's got front-facing speakers. I mean, the only thing that was kind of I wasn't really too happy about was the Snapdragon 808 processor, but I mean, I just want to try it. It just seems such an interesting idea, and yeah, I don't know. I feel like they probably haven't been selling too well either.
Yeah, it's like a weird concept, the cloud storage thing. I like the idea of it, but
It seems like a hassle.
yeah. Like my wife saw a picture of one and she thought it looked really cute, and so she kind of was like talking about wanting one, and I was just like, I don't think you really would like it in the long run, because like, I mean, everything, literally everything is reliant on your data connection.
Yeah, I feel like that
It's
would.
the same problem with Chromebooks. Like,
Right. And for a laptop, you can deal with it because
hmm
you're in your Wi-Fi all the time. A phone, you don't want to have to worry about that.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it sounds like again, it sounds like a good idea, but it's just I feel like you might be better off just making a phone with a lot of internal storage or something, which is already pretty cheap. But I don't know.
Oh, speaking of internal storage, you probably knew this, Chris, but the HTC 10 does actually support adoptable storage too.
Yes.
It's pretty
great.
cool. Because
Yeah.
when I went to the event, they gave us all 200 gigabyte SD cards,
What?
and I hadn't even put it in my
Damn.
computer or in my phone, and then I was like I was doing the tips and tricks article, and I saw that, and I was like, oh snap,
Oh,
I gotta put that in there and format it. So I got
200
tons.
gigabyte phone. That's ridiculous.
Storage for days.
That's crazy. It's so nuts. So you did it? You
Yeah, I
did
did the
whole
formatting
process?
thing.
Does the phone feel slower, or apps opening not as quickly, or is it hanging
Not that
anywhere?
I've
Do anything weird?
noticed.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah. All right, our last little story here. So Samsung Galaxy C5 leaked today. This is like a new mid-range series from Samsung.
Galaxy
And
10. It's the Galaxy 10.
yeah, usually we wouldn't like care about something like this, but it's a metal phone, and of course, Samsung made it look like an HTC phone or an iPhone. It's got the antenna lines, it's got the curves on the corners that like almost exactly the same shape. Yeah.
It's definitely a 10. The photos were kind of a little bit misleading, and some people are like, I don't know, I don't think it really looks, but there's like a clear TPU
Yeah.
or hard shell case over it, so you have to kind of look past that, and then you can see. I mean, it's just, I guess it's Samsung's Me Too phone. Like, hey, we can do that too. Let's do it. We
Yeah,
have unlimited resources.
I know, I don't get it. Like Samsung just runs into this so much more than any other company.
Yeah, I don't know who their guy is, but he's just like he's Mr. Copy Paste on everything he does. Probably it's just like whatever.
And I'm sure there are people who are gonna say like, well,
Yeah,
metal, just because it's metal doesn't mean it's a copy.
there's so many ways you can design a phone, so many
Yeah.
different ways. And if you look at what's out on the market, you can see, well, let's try to avoid it. Let's try to make it look more like this, or do something crazy. Like HTC, they put this crazy, ridiculous chamfered edge all around.
Yeah.
Nothing looks like that. So I don't know. I feel like there's just other ways they could have
There are
done
tons
it.
of metal phones now. I mean, heck, even the G5 is a metal phone, and that doesn't look anything like that.
Yes, even though some people think it's hideous, I think it looks cool. But it definitely looks different. Everyone can agree it looks different than all the other metal phones.
Ashley really loves it.
Yeah, I do.
Ashley's biggest LG G5 fanboy out there.
Uh-huh.
All right, that wraps up our news. There wasn't a lot of really big things to talk about this week, so we'll get into our wins and fails of the week. And I have kind of an interesting win. So there's this new tech, I guess, that it works with the smartwatch, and it like wraps around your wrist a little bit tighter than the smartwatch does, and it allows you to use your arm basically as like a touchscreen for your watch.
What?
Yeah.
Awesome.
So there's like this GIF of it that I saw. I think it was The Verge that wrote about it, and they have like Angry Birds on the watch, and then so the guy's like, it's kind of hard to show, but so imagine Angry Birds, and then he's dragging his finger back away from the watch, and that's like pulling back the bird on the slingshot. So it's really
Pretty
cool.
nuts.
Yeah. And I think that like something like that could make smartwatches a lot more useful.
Oh yeah. If you don't have to gesture on the screen, you could just do it on your arm. It's crazy.
Right.
That's what Apple was saying with like when they introduced that weird little dial. I forget what they call their little dial thing.
Oh yeah, the crown.
The crown, the digital crown, was because they said it's too hard to pinch and zoom, and you don't want your finger covering everything you're trying to do on your smartwatch. So they made a little dial on the side. But if your arm, you can just do it on your arm. I wonder, can you put it on other parts of your body?
What did you have in mind?
I don't. It seems cool. I just don't know how well it would work for every type of application, and
Right.
yeah. But it's an interesting I guess solution for that.
If you want to look this up and watch the video, it's called Skintrack, all one word. Pretty neat.
Skintrack.
My fail of the week is going to be Power Rangers.
Oh man.
So I don't know how many of you have been following along, but there is a Power Rangers movie coming out next year. It's called Power Rangers, but I believe it's based on like the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the original series. So they've like slowly been releasing photos like of the cast, and then they released a photo couple weeks ago of Rita Repulsa's new costume, which looked like completely different.
Who
And
is
then-
it? It's Elizabeth Banks, I think,
Yeah.
is the actress. Yeah.
And then today they finally showed off the costumes for the Rangers, which is what everyone's been waiting to see. And oh my God, they
Is it
are
as
horrible.
bad as Michael Bay's Ninja Turtles?
It's
I think it's worse than that. I've actually kind of like grown used to these weird looking Ninja Turtles. This is
definitely
they
is
look,
Michael Bay-ish though.
they look tacky. It's just plain tacky. It really reminds me of like the Batman and Robin from like what was it?
Yeah.
That Shoemaker guy did.
It's just like so over designed.
The guy went hard.
Yeah,
He went
there's
hard on
like
that.
50 different textures. There's like
Chrome,
lines going everywhere,
shiny,
and
so
there's, like,
shiny.
So what you're saying is somebody bedazzled the suits.
Oh
Yeah.
man, yeah.
what it really looks like is, this will be a good Power Rangers reference. Lord Zed had
Oh my god.
a little get together with Iron Man, and this
They
is
had a
what
baby.
came out. Yeah,
They had a little baby. I wonder if when they talk, are their mouths gonna like digitally move? Like,
God, they better not. That would be. It look like there's enough CGI as it is. I don't think we need that. But I mean, I wasn't like a huge fan of Power Rangers when I was a kid, but it was kind of like, I don't know, kind of nostalgic about it, and so I've been following this movie pretty closely, actually.
Like my thing was, I saw there was someone did like a short where it's like a gritty, dark Power Ranger. Like that was really awesome, and I feel like maybe I don't know, maybe that kind of influences my opinion of these new ones because it looks like it's just going to be another kid movie. I guess it's going to be a reboot. I mean, everything's a reboot now, right? So.
Yeah, I mean, there's not really. There was like a Power Rangers movie way back in the day, so I guess you could consider it a reboot, but it probably isn't going to be anything like that.
Yeah, I mean, just anything. I don't think it's going to be anything like the old Power Rangers. I mean, I guess the colors are there.
Yeah.
Hopefully, they're not so racially charged as last time around. But
They aren't. Like the Black Ranger isn't black.
He's just a regular dude, just like
Yeah.
a white guy.
There is
Asian.
a Black Ranger. He's blue now though.
I want the Pink Ranger to be a guy. I would have auditioned.
That's the
for
other
that.
thing that's so horrible about these costumes. The girls have heels.
Oh my god.
shut up!
No.
Oh, what?
No.
I didn't
You have to
even-
look at
I
this
didn't
picture on
notice.
Twitter, Ashley.
Oh my
man.
god.
It's
Yeah.
so bad.
The SJWs are gonna have a field day with that for sure.
I mean, it's so unnecessary. I don't blame them.
Why? I mean, their heels better do something cool. They better shoot little missiles or something. I mean, make them functional.
Just bums me out, man, because the Power Rangers, like the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, had the coolest helmets ever.
so
they-
awful.
They should have just kept the original helmets and designed the rest of the suit differently. But
Those suits look like they were meant for like Tron or something.
yeah, someone said that they looked like someone made them in DeviantArt, and I was like, yeah, it kind of does look like that.
Oh my gosh.
That's probably the most we'll ever talk about Power Rangers on this podcast. All right, Chris, what do you got?
Person last time. My win and fail, right? Yeah. My win for the week is going to be the Google self-driving car. Someone did a parody video where they incorporated the Google self-driving car in Grand Theft Auto 5, and it was freaking hilarious.
It was hilarious. I saw this video.
It was so fun. I mean, like, you can see the car looks just like it. I mean, it's like going over ramps and flames and
It
explosions.
starts out
everywhere.
like, is this guy newscasting? Like he's announcing the Google self-driving car, and then all this crazy stuff starts happening in the background, and he
Yeah.
just keeps talking normal.
He's talking about the car, and I guess the car just goes like haywire. It just like, I mean, this is everyone's biggest fear. Honestly, I feel like people are going to see this and be like, "See, this is why we can never have self-driving cars." But there's a little guy. He's riding in the car, and he's freaking out because it's just driving and running over people and hitting cars, and really was like the funniest video I've seen probably this month, even though it's still early. Hilarious. My fail for the week is going to be the Galaxy S7 lens cover. We saw these at Mobile World Congress. It was like those detachable lens. They had a wide-angle lens and a telephoto one for the Galaxy S7 and S7 Edge. You can attach them to this little case they had. But they kind of went MIA. They were just... Everyone kind of forgot about them. I don't know what was going on. But as anybody with a G5 can tell you, that wide-angle lens is probably the awesomest feature of that
Yes.
phone, or just smartphones in general. Having a cool, awesome wide-angle camera is just so useful. So I was kind of hyped for these, even though they'd be kind of weird carrying them around like in your back pocket or something. But
They're not that big.
Yeah, I have really small pants. So no one really knew what happened to them, but we found someone tipped us, and they showed, I guess, on Samsung Sweden site that they were coming out on May 5th, which is today. And it turns out, yeah, they did launch. I guess they're available in Europe. I think they're about $150.
That seems ridiculously expensive.
Yeah, Mobile Fun has them. They're kind of like North American based, mobilefun.com, and they have them for $120. I'm not sure if they're available yet on their site, so I have to wait. But $120 for a case with these lenses. I mean, if you've bought a camera lens for like a real camera, you know that that's kind of, I mean, that's not that expensive, I guess. But I mean, these aren't.
How much did those like Alo clips or Alo clip things
Those
cost?
are kind of expensive too.
Yeah.
I mean, the reason is because people associate buying lenses with just a high price. I mean, this is something so expensive, and but there's those little Alo clips. There's generic versions you can buy on Amazon for like $12, and they're literally the exact same thing as a lot of these other brands. As people get them, they buy those from China, and then they just rebrand them and put their own logos on them and stuff. So it's really not that expensive. I mean, Samsung would be making a lot of profit off of these, but still pretty cool. And I want it. I want to try it out because I think it would be awesome. So it looks like they might be coming to the U.S. relatively soon. Eventually, I reached out to Samsung, and they just said, we have no comment or something ridiculous. They're just like, we have no announcements at this time. Go away. Leave us alone. Yeah, we have phones to copy here. Gosh, we're going to have so many horrible comments and emails, I feel like.
We can handle it,
that
man.
That was my fail.
We dish it out all around. I remember when the HTC One A9 came out, we were giving HTC a hard time for copying Apple. So
LG, the G5, we had a field
we call
day with
it like
that.
we see it.
That's all we do. Oh.
All right, Ashley, what do you have for us?
I have an interesting win. I'm going to classify this as a Tunisian mobile developer has offered a real-life cow as a prize to the people who play their game.
So
the developer is Digital Mania, and they've created a game called Bagra, which means cow. And it sounds like it plays like Clash of Clans, no doubt. It's about herding cows together and preventing other players from stealing your own cows.
What?
So the person that won it, they won a cow called Pamela, and they had the option of having her delivered to their home, donating her to a charity, or getting her as a freezer full of meat.
Oh
my gosh.
Yeah, the person who won chose to take Pamela and have her at their home, but they're already offering another cow, a cow named Bridget. She's
they
up.
got another one.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
What in the world?
All right. Would you take the real life cow?
I mean, some of the other prizes were like tablets and home phones and stuff. I would be like,
okay.
can I get a tablet instead of the cow?
I mean, I do have a backyard, but I don't know if I want to take care of a cow. Doesn't sound like a lot of fun. That is hilarious, though. That's really creative.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of cool.
My other win is a personal anecdote. My roommate's niece, she lives quite a distance from us, and I haven't seen her since I had the G3. And she came down for Mother's Day, and she saw me, and she saw my phone, and she goes, "Your phone grew up." Just her eyes got really big, and I was like, "Yeah, I guess it did, because I have a 6P now, so my phone grew up."
Because it's bigger. Because it's a lot larger now, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's funny. I feel like that's.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say that's probably like kind of like a peek into the minds of just regular consumers. I feel like they think that as your phone
You're comparing regular consumers to a 4-year-old.
Really, honestly, it's like the bigger your phone, the more premium it is, the more expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm 100% sure some people think like that.
That's the natural kind of progression for it, but.
I I think it's
Aw.
kind of crazy that you said you hadn't seen her for a couple of years, that she would remember and like
Your
make
phone
note
grew
of
up.
that.
Yep.
It's kind of crazy. Kids
She knows me
kids are
as the
smart.
phone person, though, so.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. Actually, speaking of phone people, in the last 2 weeks, I've heard from a couple people that read Fandroid, which was pretty cool. Like
Aw.
people that I've met in my personal life, and they're like, "Oh yeah, Fandroid, I read that," and I thought that was kind of cool.
That is awesome.
I don't hear that a lot.
Yeah.
All right, so
We have some emails this week, don't we?
first we'll get to app picks, and then
yeah.
yes, we do have a good email. My app pick is going to be an app called Sound Seeder. So this app lets you basically turn all your mobile devices and your computer into speakers. And so when you play music from one of those devices, it plays through the speakers of all of those devices. So it's like a cheap way to have surround sound in your room. I was messing around with it earlier this week, and it's kind of cool once you get it all. I mean, the problem is getting it all synced up, all the devices to play at once and stuff like that. But once you get it all synced up, it actually works really well. You can like set devices to be like a right speaker or a left speaker, so you can like really set up your surround sound. And then there's like a program that you can download for Windows. I don't know about Mac. But you can then like it works through like Java. It's not the most user-friendly app, but once you get it all set up, then you can use your computer as a speaker also. So I was messing around with it, and it was pretty cool. It's all free. It works with Google Play Music, which is really cool.
Oh, that's the big question I was about to ask.
Right. So if that's something
that's
that
awesome.
you're interested in, definitely go check that out. It's really cool.
Yeah, I saw there was another one I used back in the day, but yeah, it was just with MP4s or MP3s on your phone and stuff, so you can Google Play Music or streaming services. My app pick is going to be the Google Keyboard update. It was a freaking huge update. Google Keyboard went up a full point this week, or was it last week? It was this week. And it is it's a completely different keyboard now. Like,
Is it something I should try again?
Any previous, if you've ever used Google Keyboard, you didn't like it, you have to try it now after the 5.0 update. I'm not sure if the 5.0 update's available for everyone yet. It might not be on the Google Play Store yet, but you can go to like APK Mirror and sideload it or whatever. But it is Swift key status autocorrect. That's how crazy it is. And then it has these crazy new gestures that we've never seen before on any other keyboard, and they work so well. You can swipe on the spacebar to move the cursor around in your text to adjust just a specific letter, and you can also swipe from the delete. The more you go back, the more it highlights complete words, and then when you let go, it deletes all those words. But the cool part is if you're like, oh shoot, I deleted too much, right after you delete it, it has a prediction for everything you just deleted. So you're like, oh, I want to bring everything back. You can just click the little prediction, and it all your words that you just deleted.
I'm sad I can't. Mine's still on 4.2.
Yeah, you go to APK Mirror. They have it on there, and it's so awesome.
I've actually been using it too ever since it came out,
Yeah.
and so far so good. That's actually one thing I should mention about the HTC 10. The keyboard that comes with it is not very good. It's TouchPal.
Oh, that one's awful.
It's not good. It's not really worth mentioning as a negative because it's so easy to change, and most people have their own favorite anyway. But yeah,
I saw something about TouchPal having some problems with Chinese ads on Reddit. It was like putting full lock screens over people's phones in addition to their already existing lock screen. And
was it TouchPal or was it? Oh no, it was Next Browser, wasn't it?
There was Next. The thread was started in Next Browser, but TouchPal was mentioned as having done it too.
So they're all like a bunch of these weird Chinese apps are doing it.
Yes.
Now, apparently, that sucks.
Yes.
So Next Browser is made by the Go Launcher dev team, and TouchPal is its own thing.
Go Launcher. Oh man, I remember that back in the day.
Go Launcher?
They're pretty spammy, scammy developers.
Yeah, I wouldn't touch their stuff with a 10-foot pole, not anymore. But Yeah, so the TouchPal is on the HTC. That's an interesting partnership.
Yep. Ashley, what's your app pick?
My app pick for this week is a game called Punch Club. It's been out for a while, but it's like a fight club, boxing club simulator where you get these fighters and they work for you and box and you train their matches and stuff. It's really interesting. It's available for $1. I think it launched at like $4.99, and they recently had an expansion that released some additional content. But if you like tycoon type games, check it out for $1. You can't beat it. It's a good game.
Cool.
Punch Club. Check that out right now.
All right, so we do have an email to get to this week, and it's subject line that I've always wanted to see. Long-time listener, first-time emailer.
Yay! More of those.
I love it. So I'm going to read the first part of this, which is not really a question, but kind of cool. He says, I've been an avid listener for over 2 years, and I look forward to the podcast each week and get disappointed when there is no podcast. I go back to when Joe, Chris, Kevin, and Edgar would talk about smartwatches for the better part of the show, which was fine by me because they were new at the time, and I was super excited to get my hands on one. For those of you who remember, I was on the same page as Edgar with getting the G's.
Oh, gosh.
I should mention his name. This is Tony. So thanks for that, Tony. So to get to his questions, he's got 2 questions. First question. Recently I had a discussion with someone who claims to be on the in with cell phone technology and how easy it is to steal cell phone data if your phone is not encrypted. I only started skimming the topic on the internet when I thought, hey, what a great question for the podcast. What are your thoughts about phone encryption and do you use it? I read that it slows your phone down significantly, which may be an issue for me as I'm still rocking the Nexus 6 and beginning to see the device slow down.
I don't
some
do
devices
with
come
encryption.
with it already, right?
Say it again?
Don't some devices come encrypted like out of the box?
Yeah. I think after, I can't remember if it was Lollipop or Marshmallow, but some of them now it's just part of Android now. They come decrypted out of the box. I know the Galaxy S7 is encrypted by default, so not really much you can do there. You can. I don't even know if they have an option, but like on Nexus devices, you can turn it off. And I know there was like a speed issue back when, and that's why I was kind of like, oh, maybe I should just turn it off. But I mean, they perform pretty fast already out of the box, I feel like. So
yeah, I'm trying to remember. There was one phone specifically that I remember a lot of people talking about. The encryption slowed it down a lot, and I want to say it was the Nexus 5X.
Yeah, if it was, that's a good question. I can't remember. I feel like it was the Nexus 6, but
could have been the Nexus 6 too. Yeah. Did that one come encrypted?
I don't think it did because I think it came out before they started messing around with all that stuff. But I don't know. I think it's good. It's good for everybody. I think everything should be encrypted. As far as like the performance hit, it might have been an issue before, but I don't think it is anymore.
Yeah, I think go ahead and do it. I don't think it's going to hurt anything.
Yeah.
And it sounds like if you're getting a new phone, it's probably going to come encrypted anyway, so you might not even have to worry about doing it.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, second question. My mother is due for a new phone with Verizon. All she really does is text, call, take pictures, and watch YouTube videos on it. She has the LG Lucid 3, and her only complaint is the camera quality. I'm thinking of telling her to go with the Droid Max 2. Any thoughts on it or other recommendations on a mid-range phone? This is funny because my mom actually recently upgraded a phone and asked me like the same question. She was coming from a mid-range phone and kind of wanted a mid-range phone too, and I just told her to get the Galaxy S7 because I don't know, it's not mid-range, but I think in the long run you're going to be happier with a phone like that than if you get a mid-range device.
Yeah, my thing is, I mean, all she wants is a really good camera. I would go
right, and the Galaxy S7 has a great camera. That was what my mom wanted too. Was a really good camera.
But I mean, I'm guessing like with my parents and stuff, I can't get them to ever put money towards a phone, no matter what I tell them. It's like it's only like $50 more. Just like It's just it's like pulling.
All right. Well, if you can't convince her to spend a little bit more, what would you say?
I think I'm not even sure what the pricing is on Verizon phones right now, but like the Droid Turbo is kind of awesome. The camera's really good on that. The Droid Turbo 2. And I think they had the price either dropped or they have some like promos for that and stuff. But if not, I would go. I know Verizon still offers like older phones. I would go with a flagship from previous years than just going for like a low end to
That's a good
mid range
tip.
phone from this year. So Galaxy S5, maybe Galaxy S6 if you're looking for something a little newer. I would probably go that route. I don't think I would. I don't recommend. It's really hard for me to recommend inexpensive phones that are still new that came out this year that are kind of mid-range to low-range. It's so hard for me to do that. It's like
Also, check out swappa.com. A lot of really good deals there. On
yes,
they are
yes.
used phones, but you'll find phones that are in like perfect condition. So
Yeah, and always had really good experiences with that. I've actually used Swappa so much now that they're sending me a T-shirt, which is awesome.
yeah, I've used Swappa a ton too. It's never had a bad experience.
Yeah.
All right, and he just finished it off saying, "Thanks for fielding my questions, and I'll try not to wait 2+ years for my next question." So thanks so much for emailing us, Tony, and thanks for listening all these years. We appreciate that a lot. And that is actually our last question of the day. If you'd like to send in a question or a comment, you can do that with our address, podcast@fandroid.com. And you can also hit us up on Twitter @MobileRoarcast. But that's going to wrap things up for this week. Just want to remind everyone again that we're on Google Play Music now, so just search for Mobile Roar and you'll find us there. And we're still on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, TuneIn, pretty much everywhere else. And we are on Twitter. Chris is at GamerCore, Ashley's at Overlord Roar, and I am at Tall Schmo. Thanks everybody for listening / watching, and we will see you guys next week.
Later.